Rob Stone joins us from Russia. Stoner, how are you?
That's former PA to Dan Patrick, Rob Stone, checking in from Moscow. How are you, my friend? What a pleasure. What a pleasure to join you guys. I'm glad you finally found my number.
I actually emailed you a couple of months ago to say how proud I was of you, and then I didn't hear back, and I went, man, did something happen?
Well, you're kind of spam worthy, Dan. So these things happen. Trust me, Dan Patrick. If you emailed me, damn straight, you would have gotten a response within a second. So that clearly went somewhere sideways. Don't worry about that.
Okay, God's honest truth. I reached out to Carissa Thompson, and I said, "Can you give me Rob Stone's email address?" And I sent you an email that moment. You were hosting college football, and I wanted to let you know how proud I was because how many years do we go back? 20 years ago, you were a production assistant?
Early, it was funny. It's probably 91, 92 is when I first got to work with you. And to this day, I remember one of the baseball highlights that I cut for you. And we would have these post-production meetings at the end of SportsCenter. And it was it was a tense time between the working stiffs and the talent at that time. I think you guys had gotten some bad shot sheets, some handwritten garbage that you guys weren't happy with. I think it was you and Olbermann. And in the meeting, you stood up and you're like, who did this highlight? And it was, I'm pretty sure it was Mets and Reds. And I put my hand up, and I mean, I'm telling you, a little pee came out when I put my hand up. And you said, this is exactly what I want. And I mean, it was sheer excitement. And I remember the highlight to the day, Dan. It was a 1-0 game, and all I did was go through the entire at-bat of the game-winning RBI, and I matched it with somebody in the dugout chewing gum. So they put the gum in the mouth, and the at-bat's going and fouling off. The gum's starting to get tired. Boom, more foul balls. Finally, he gets the hit, the winning run, throws the gum out. That's your highlight. It's done. To this day, God's honest truth, I remember this as one of my PA SportsCenter highlights.
Thank you, Rob. That's all we wanted to talk about. We didn't want to talk about the World Cup.
That's it. Goodbye.
Keep up the enthusiasm there, Rob, and I'm proud of you. You've done a great job there, and I hope you're having fun.
I'm having a blast, and I'm thrilled to talk to you. And just so you know, you and several others over there were just a huge part of my life, and I forever will thank you. And this is the God honest truth. I look back and I speak so highly of the things I learned from you guys. Whether you knew you were educating me or not, you were. I was watching you, and I was listening, and I was learning. I really do thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Rob, and good luck this weekend. Tell the folks we said hello over there.
Will do, my friend. Be good.
That's Rob Stone, Fox Sports lead studio host, and he was a great kid, though. I mean, had that great attitude, smile on his face, good-looking kid, and then he said, I want to be on air. And everybody who came into the mothership, 19, 20, 21, 22, college graduates, everybody wanted to be on the air. And then you have to tell them, you're not going to get on the air here. You're going to have to leave here, and then if you want to come back, then you have a chance. And he did it. He put in the work that you needed to, and it's a great story. Of course, he didn't return my email. Maybe Carissa Thompson gave me a faulty email address for Rob Stone. Yes, Paul.
I used to love the SportsCenter highlights when they were creative like that, where you'd take some novelty of the game and intermix it with the actual story of the game, and you guys used to just chop it up. And a guy chewing gum hard and the tension of an at-bat, that was kind of when it was peak stuff, where the highlight how long were those usually your baseball highlights? 90 seconds?
Oh, no, not even that.
But you could tell an entire story of a 3-hour game. And
yes.
It's perfect.
And that was the hard part for them, is you're going to watch a 3-hour game, and now you have to capsulize that and put it, maybe 60 seconds. But a lot of times when we were doing the highlights, we would not see the highlights until you were watching them at home. I would get what Rob was talking about, a shot sheet, and it would have all the information on there. But there'd be room for us to be creative, be colorful, throw in catchphrases. But there'd be times when I'd be on camera leading into a game. So let's say I'm leading into that Mets-Reds game that he's talking about. He could be right to the left of me, off camera, ready to hand me the shot sheet because they had just finished the game, just finished the highlights, and we're already on live on SportsCenter. So I would be on camera and, let's go to Riverfront Stadium. I would stick my left hand out, get the shot sheet, and then I would look down and I'd be looking at the highlights for the first time that you were at home. And so you had to have implicit trust in these kids, these college grads, that they were going to, not hose you. Yeah, Paul.
And was the shot sheet handwritten?
Yes.
That's got to be the toughest because your penmanship, even good penmanship, is different from person to person.
Penmanship is dead.
Yeah.
And, but it's even more dead now. But back then, if you had time to type it up, you did. But a lot of times you were just trusting somebody's penmanship there. Yeah, Fritzy.
And you don't have that advanced window to be creative or clever and play off of something that you know is going to be coming up. If you're seeing it for the first time, you just kind of wing it and hope maybe something comes to you that you can add to what you're looking at.
But what I loved was the spontaneity was live. And I'm watching the highlight with you and maybe reacting how you would. Whereas the 1 o'clock Sports Center, they got time to rehearse it. And there was a different feel to that. Now, you could set up something, a highlight or a punchline, a lot better with that. But I love the spontaneity of doing it live, and you had to do it right in front of you. And so you might be watching, and we're reacting the same way. It's just I'm doing it on TV. Yeah, Paul.
I know this is Captain Obvious, but that's when SportsCenter peaked. I would watch a SportsCenter. All of us would watch a SportsCenter with you guys, and you do the highlights, and then we'd watch again an hour later. And I knew the order of the highlights that are coming my way, but they were so fun that you'd watch them all again. I mean, that's hard to do when you know the result.
Well, that was always the fun part on Sunday night to Monday morning is they re-aired SportsCenter, and then you would get people who would watch it a couple of times on Monday morning, which was great. I mean, it was a great compliment to Keith and I.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.